What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about how to protect your heart, okay? What you need to do in order to get to a relationship without feeling defeated, helpless, hopeless, and wanting to adopt 3 cats and be alone forever, okay? We're going to protect the heart. I'm going to show you why you are designed to do this and ways to do it, okay? This might be a longer video, so if you want to have this on in the background or listen to my voice when you're trying to sleep, as creepy as that is for, not for me, but maybe for you, I don't know, you're like, nah, I don't want to do that. Again, just a longer video, so have it up whenever you're driving, anything, okay? So first off, why you feel the need to protect your heart. This sounds like, why is this in here, Elliot? Like obviously, because I don't want to get hurt. Yes, but you have to understand, I believe, why it keeps on happening to you. And I think the best way to do that is to look at why we need to protect it and the defense mechanisms you're putting up or the positions you're putting yourself in, right? That kind of go along with this, if that makes sense. So the first thing is you're evolutionarily designed to do so. Again, I know that sounds logical, but I want you guys to start thinking of dating as a game. I hate to say this, but dating is a game. It is a game of avoiding risk long enough to get the goal you want. And when I say risk, of course it's different today. Today it just might be something like a heartbreak, but back then it was life or death. If a woman made the wrong decision with a man and this man got her pregnant and left, she was literally and figuratively screwed. She was ostracized by other men. She became a predator because she was slower, more vulnerable to being captured. Again, I don't know what animal back there, a saber-toothed tiger. Again, I know that's not really the case, but you get what I'm saying. Like she was just more vulnerable to diseases and health issues. She needed more nutrients, like everything. She had to be picky. She had to be choosy. Okay, she couldn't just go around and do whatever she wanted. That's why courtship is created. Is for a man to step up, prove himself that he is the reliable guy who has the resources to take care of her. Okay. So you were designed to do it. It was literally life or death. The next thing is, unfortunately, men, I'm going to kind of keep going with this analogy. So, this example. So, a guy knows this, okay? He knows that, okay, she's putting the walls up, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's not letting me get the sugar walls like they did 100,000 years ago or whatever, his ancestor. You're not doing it, okay? Women have come to adapt to a strategy. Their sexual strategy is monogamy and courtship. Men have to prove themselves to get to a woman's sugar walls, okay? So because of this, man has a counter strategy, which is basically, well, I'm gonna bullshit you. Not all guys. Some guys are like, okay, you know what? You're a quality girl. I like what you're asking. I think it's a fair trade. I like you. I'm digging you. Let's do it, okay? And then courtship happens and they both agree and find out that they really like each other happily ever after. Some guys are like, nah, I'm not doing that. So what does he do? He tries to cut corners, get it at a discount by telling you what you want to hear. Women will fall for it. He's playing games, and again, you are burned and hurt, which kind of goes down to here. It has happened to you before. The beautiful thing about us as a species is we have learned over hundreds of thousands of years to adapt and grow. When we are losing, okay, we find a strategy to win. And one of those things, as unhealthy as it is men become emotionally unavailable. Women might build a complex and feel like this or that, and again, have their walls up, very strongly, even for a nice guy, and again, some type of psychological complex or thing happens. It's not pretty, unfortunately, but it does. It is present. So she's adapting along the way, and that's probably where you stand right now. You are very afraid. Here's an example of the adaptation, I guess. You are very afraid of putting yourself out there, being vulnerable, wanting something to work with somebody, or even putting hope into it, because the last guy you were talking to was a great guy. Elliot, he did everything you say in your videos. He was a great dude. And then all of a sudden, he pulls away. He's acting different. And this is 2 months later, 3 months, like I'm afraid of doing it again. I don't want to waste my time. I'm getting up there in age. I'm freaking the AF out. I don't know if it's me, if I'm the problem, or if I'm going to be alone forever, whatever. Like I'm freaking. Don't worry. I got you, okay? So now, how do we fix this? How do we protect our heart? Because like I said, it is a game of risk. At the end of the day, you're trying to survive, quote unquote, long enough to play the game. The longer you live, the more chances you have to play. You just don't want to get screwed, literally and figuratively, along the way. So the first thing I always tell my clients is to filter men. Now, what do I mean by this? And you might be someone watching this and be like, Elliot, I heard this 100 times from your other videos, and the guy did this, and I still got screwed. Don't worry, I got you. But I still want you to do these things. This is like the fundamental. Like this is like you got to do these things, okay? And there's 3 things. The first thing is you have to ask him, what is he looking for? Early on, before you even meet on a date. If you're on a dating app, so what are you looking for? And see what he says. If he gives you any bullshit answer other than I'm looking to commit, I'm looking for something serious, I'm looking to settle down, I want a relation, something along those lines, great. Anything else, you're out. I'm looking to find my, I want to see what's out there. I'm looking to eventually settle down. If a guy says eventually, nah, or see what happens, or I'm not really sure, but if I find the right girl, I'm open to a relation. All that, nah, dude, you're out, okay? That's the first thing. And the reason you want to do this is because you want to frame what you two have as something, right? Something mutual, something that you agree upon and are willing to work towards. What a lot of people don't understand with courtship is a man has to choose you, and then you have to allow a man to do it. Meaning, okay, I see you, fine Sarah, hi Sarah on the other end, or whoever, I see fine ass Sarah, and I come up and I start talking to Sarah and stuff like that, flirting, so I want to get to know her, okay? And I am willing to court her, to invest my resources into her and all types of things, okay? And the reason for that is because I want to. I chose her. Now, she has to give me the green light, the okay, which is, okay, I want you to do it. There's a mutual agreement. You are not entitled to my resources. I am not entitled to your body. We have to agree upon these things. You have to, I have to earn it, right? And when it comes to two people talking and they don't frame what it is, it's kind of like up in the air. And then she wonders why the guy's treating her casual. And it's because, well, when you don't really define what it is, again, I know it's a situationship, but where it's going. When you don't define that, it's like, well, you want casual, you're going to be treated casual. You have to label it. If you do not label what you guys are looking for, it is a low value, that is a low value thing from the woman's side, okay? From the woman's side. Now you might be like, well, why the woman? Because of the set, well, I'll say, we'll get there. Okay, but you want to filter, you want to filter these guys. So the first step, you want to get him to agree what you guys are looking for. The second step is you want to do your reconnaissance. Okay, now that's not on here. This is still filtering. You want to do your reconnaissance, your detective work. When was his last relationship? How long has he been single? It's kind of the same thing. Has he ever had a serious relationship? What happened? Why did they break up? And things like that. So, okay, was he cheated on? Those are all very, 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 very important concepts or questions to ask, because I am a true believer, been doing this for 10 years. I have learned that if a guy was cheated on, or he's recently single, which means within the last year, he's probably mostly unavailable. He likes the idea of a relationship. He kind of misses it, but he's not ready for one. again, 9 times out of 10, that's the case. These are the questions I always ask my clients when I first talk to them. Like, hey, do you know this guy's relationship history? Oh, yeah, he was this. Oh, and he was cheated on. Oh, whoa, what? And again, it's not a coincidence that they answer the questions and it falls in line with the guy being emotionally unavailable. It's like, oh, so he's recently divorced 6 months ago? And he found his wife in bed with his best friend? Yeah, the guy's, oh, but he's such a nice guy though, and he says he was done with her anyway, and that he don't talk to them, and she's a bitch, and he's ready to date. No. Move on, okay? Move on. And of course, the third thing, still under filtering, is you have to get a guy to consistently invest his resources all the time, okay? When I say all the time, I mean daily. If you're talking to a guy, ladies, any guy can bullshit you, which again, we'll get to it. He can bullshit you the first half. It's the second half where things start to surface and you start to see his true intentions, meaning like around the 4 or 5 week mark. But again, we'll get into that. So the next thing, staying on the market. Ladies, you have to understand, like I said, this is a game of risk. I want to give you a perspective from the man's side, okay? Men are trying to avoid risk too. The risk they're trying to avoid is investing their resources into the wrong woman. If you are taking yourself off the market for a man who is not your boyfriend, he has zero risk. I don't have to commit to her. She's not talking to anybody else. There's no competition. There's no risk in losing her. She's not going to leave. She's sitting around hoping that I put a ring on that finger. I know it's a little far-fetched, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I commit to her. So if you are taking that risk away from the man, that's good for the man. There has to be a consequence to someone's actions, a cause and effect, right? If a man can get the benefits of a relationship without actually being in a relationship, you're taking on all the risk. You're paying the cost. He's just along for the ride. He doesn't have, and again, you're losing because you're sitting around hopeful things will change. You're sitting around and you're so outcome dependent on something that he controls because you gave him the power by taking yourself off the market. So again, we'll just sum that up real fast. I really want to emphasize the fact that you cannot give a guy that power. You have to look at it from his perspective. He is playing a game of risk too. If you take away that risk by letting him have his cake and eating it too, essentially, meaning you're talking to him for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months and you're not actually official, you already lost. You already lost. He has no risk. Why would he change this outcome? Again, he wants the sugar walls, he wants the attention, he wants the validation, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be sexual. It can just be you guys cuddling and being cute together. Whatever, the attention, anything. He gets it, right? And again, like I said, the game is all about reducing risk and playing as long as you can until you get what you want. He's already getting what he wants with zero risk. He will not change that he will not change that outcome. That's perfect for him. Good luck on changing a guy's mind there. Okay? Which this kind of leads to the next thing. If you want to protect your heart, again, filter a guy, stay on the market, don't take his risk away, but you also have to value your time and who you're intimate with. A guy has to work for it. What people don't understand is courtship is created, right? Courtship is created for the sole purpose of two people, right, seeing if this is a good match. But on top of that, for a woman to reduce her risk. If you give a guy your time and you open your legs to him and he does not deserve it, kind of goes back to the first thing. Why would he ever respect it? You don't even respect your own time. When women will come to me all the time and say, why is he doing X, Y, Z? Why would he do that, Elliot? Why would he do this? Why would he do that? And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, he said he's going to call me and he doesn't call me. He says he's going to make a date and he doesn't make a date. I'm like, he doesn't value my time. You don't value your time. If he's doing those things, he's out. If he's pulling that bullshit, he's out. Yeah, but I really like him. It's not that easy. Hey, Mother Nature doesn't give a shit if it's easy or not. It's either right or wrong. That's what people don't understand. I'll talk to people and they'll talk to me about the moral aspect of things. And I agree, and I'm not saying there's no morals in Mother Nature, but to some extent, not really, it's right or wrong. And I hate to be graphic with this, but like a sexual strategy back then for a lot of like of ancestors, or you see it in other animal species, is RAPE. It's I don't know if I can say it because of or YouTube's bulge violation stuff, but that is a strategy. I'm not saying men are doing that. Well, they are. You get what I'm saying. But like that was a strategy. Like you see how aggressive a primate is coming over doing his shit or whatever. Like again, it's a strategy. So people, from an evolutionary perspective, the moral aspect is there, but not really. Men don't care. Men don't care about your time or getting between your legs if you don't care about it. I'm not saying there ain't good men out there. I'm not saying men only want those two things or want sex and don't want relationships. Of course they do. Trust me, ladies, they actually do. But from a moral aspect, if you don't value your time, he's not going to value it. Trust me. And if you're giving a guy those things when he doesn't deserve it, like I said, you're not really filtering him. You're doing a bad job. You're not really staying on the market because you're like being exclusive to him and giving him these extra benefits that you wouldn't give any other man. So why would he not take advantage of that power? Again, if a man truly likes you, I don't think he would do that, but that, again, full circle, it kind of makes sense why you're in that situation. I don't think he truly likes you. Next thing, assume everything, we just kind of talked about this earlier with the filtering and stuff. Assume everything a guy says in the first 4 or 5 weeks is complete BS. That's a great way. I know that's not sexy. That doesn't mean it's not authentic. Doesn't mean the shit he says isn't genuine. It is. Or it could be, but you don't know. Again, the burden of risk. I always say this, ladies. You have to understand burden of risk. Everything you accept as true has a risk to it. Because you don't know if it is, you don't know if it isn't. The only way you could tell is through proof. That's the only way you could tell. And proof to me is a guy who is consistently investing his resources in you over time and eventually takes you off the market. You will never know until a guy actually takes you off the market. In my opinion, a guy could do a really good job bullshitting a woman for 4 or 5 weeks, even 2, for a while. So that's why I just want you to kind of go with the flow. I'm not saying play a game. I'm not saying be a bitch. I'm not saying play hard to get. Just be neutral. Take everything for what it is. Don't add all these things to it. Just look and see how a guy plays, okay? And if he's playing the game consistently, because the guy who truly likes you doesn't put himself in a position to lose you. If you're talking to a guy, okay, and he's good the first 4 weeks, great, keep on going. But don't assume, this guy really fucking digs me, because you never know when something changes or he gets in his fucking head and he freaks out and then he starts pulling away, okay? You only win when the guy takes you off the market, ladies, okay? Which this kind of goes with the next thing now. Controlling the pace. Here's a little strategy that people like to do, and I said it in my other videos. Like I said, it's a game of risk. And there's kind of a timeline, a little road or path that we go on when it goes from meeting someone to having a consistent relationship with them. And of course, those things are meeting, framing the relationship, courting you, then eventually having sex, then the relationship after sex, and then moving towards an actual relationship. There are certain areas in that path where you have the advantage, such as framing the beginning mostly, framing the relationship or framing what this is and having a guy court you. Usually when that happens, like I said, we like to avoid risk and get the results. Usually in the beginning when you have the power, again, you're getting courted, and you're framing this as you guys want the same thing, so you agree to get courted. You have the power, and this is where a woman would want to slow it down. Whoever has power wants to slow it down. Whoever doesn't wants to speed it up. So that's why you see, ladies, it's not a coincidence. Trust me, there's a method to my madness. That's why you see guys like rushing things and love bombing you and stuff like that. And women are like, what the yeah, actually, now that you say it, Elliot, it was moving really fast. Well, yeah, because he doesn't want to sit there all day, every day courting you. He wants to get it wet. He wants to get his own part wet. He wants to get it in. Again, sorry for the language, but it's just true. He wants to get it in. It's smart for a woman, if you want to protect your heart, to slow down the courting stage. Now, of course, I think the right time to sleep with the guy is when you're ready and you feel like he's not going to take advantage of this power that you're about to give him. But if ladies want a number, I say at least 5 dates, okay, before you get in bed with the man. Because I feel like a guy needs to consistently court you. He needs to take you on a lot of dates. He needs to prove himself. He needs to text you, message you, show he's in the masculine. He's okay with leading. You need to have enough time to do your reconnaissance and filtering a guy and things like that, okay? So when you control the pace, you have the advantage in the beginning when he's courting you. You want to slow that down. He wants to speed it up. But of course, as any relationship goes, you do have to power does have to transition. I feel like eventually you're going to sleep with the guy, and when you do, like I said, hopefully you did your reconnaissance, you filtered it correctly, you feel like he's a good guy, he's not going to take advantage of this power, you sleep with him. Now he has the power, and there are guys who will want to slow that down, hang out, have fun, hook up, and just continue hooking up with you without immediately going to the relationship. But there's a lot of women who, after sex, because the guy has power, he wants to slow it down. The woman wants to speed it up, right? So you will be very good at dating if you take a very slow and cautious approach to it. And then after sex, I'm not saying speed it up, because she's going to be like, man, this woman's nuts, she's clingy. But you don't want to play games. I always say at 8 weeks, right? 8-9 weeks at most, it's time to have the talk. If you hook up with a guy on week 4 or 5 and he's not your boyfriend within a month after that, I think something's up. That's just me, okay? Which kind of goes with this thing now. Number 6, context. Context is the things that you guys do and say over time that layers and creates this serious vibe of a relationship. Sex is one of those things. Controlling the pace is one of those things. If you want to protect your heart, it's very good to understand the power of context. And if you want to know all this stuff, the steps of filtering, all these things, I have guides on it, ladies. I literally have 9 guides for the price of 1 down below. Get them. Okay, get them. They will help you out tremendously. I promise you. There's just so much information there. It'd be foolish not to do it. But again, 9 guides for the price of 1. And I go into context a lot in that and pacing. Context is one of those things you have to control, because I believe the number one reason a man pulls away is pressure. And what creates pressure is context. Okay, now context isn't good, it's not bad, it's neutral. So for example, let's say we are moving fast, but I'm a happy, healthy, emotionally available man who's secure and wants a relationship. It doesn't really matter if I have sex with you date 1 or date 10. I like you, we're cool, we're awesome, we're great. It's moving towards a relationship. Everything we do in between, again, the context, it's all good. I like all this. I like the validation you're giving me. I like the touching, the staying over, the future planning, because I like you and I want a relationship. Cool, right? But when you're talking to a guy who's emotionally unavailable or unsure what he wants, this is why I say control the pace and assume bullshit, because the first 4 or 5 weeks, emotionally unavailable men, it doesn't exist. It's dormant. It's inside him. It's not awakened in his head. It literally comes from here all the way up to his head, and he's like, oh shit, what's happening? You're not going to see that the first week, second week, third week, fourth week, because context hasn't built up. But as soon as he starts over-promising and love-bombing you and saying he's looking for the same thing, and then you guys are hooking up all the time and going on dates and future planning, and you met his friends, and now the guy's like, oh shit, what's going on? I'm freaking the F out. Pressure, pulls away. If you want to protect your heart, and this kind of goes, again, with pacing, slow it down, and you can slow down context. So I guess when I say pacing, there's a lot of things you can control with the pace, not just what I said about like slowing it down when you're getting courted, but also the context, meaning how you're coming off, what you're agreeing to, how you're responding to things or reacting to things. So for example, if he says, let's be exclusive, and you're like, oh yeah, me too, I really like you. It's not bad if you guys want the same thing, but you don't know what he wants. So you, again, burden of risk. If you don't know, don't play. Slow it down. And be like, well, I mean, exclusive, I would joke around with him and say, hey, you know what? I learned my lesson doing that once. I'm not doing it again. Nah, if you want me, take me off the market. You can say it in a nicer way, but I would not be exclusive for a man who just doesn't take you off the market, ladies. So control context by slowing it down and realizing what he's doing and I guess playing a reactionary game. So if he's moving real fast, tell him to slow it down or joke around. Did you always move this fast or whatever? Or if he tries something sexual, don't have sex with him early. You get what I'm saying? Control the context. And of course, the last thing is know the signs of an emotionally unavailable man. I have a whole guide on this again, ladies. Links down below. It's literally on filtering men, but I'm going to go through some common signs here. And one of the most common ones, which is why I say the 4 to 5 week thing. Make sure a guy invests past 4 or 5 weeks because anyone can pull some bullshit. When you start talking to a guy and all of a sudden it flips and things were going well and it flips, it's like, you know, you're thinking things were this kind of caught me off guard. Things were going well and then this has happened. Like, I mean, I'm kind of shocked, Elliot. That's an emotionally unavailable man, ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, that's an emotionally unavailable man. When things are going well and you feel a guy's pulling away, again, emotionally unavailable. Love bombing, not all love bombers are emotionally unavailable, but all emotionally unavailable men are probably love bombers. A lot of them do move fast, which is another reason I say control pace. He's going to want to do that for several reasons. One, context isn't created. He wants to win you over. He does have a goal in mind, so he's going to want to speed it up because, like I said, with the pace thing, when he's courting you, you have the power. He wants to get past that. Okay, so they're always going to love bomb you. I feel like 90-something% of the time, at least they will. So that's another one. And then, of course, I always say do your reconnaissance. If you're talking to, just assume it until proven otherwise. If you're talking to me and I tell you I'm single 2 months ago, 3 months ago, don't worry. It was over long before that. I lost my feelings. We just stayed together for the kids. All this bullshit. Okay. And I found out that she was cheating on me with Harold over, next door was fucking just doing this thing to my wife. And I walked in. Yeah, right. It's sorry for the graphics. Fuck Harold. It's ladies. He's emotionally unavailable. Trust me. But Elliot, he was single for 9 months, and he said that they were separated and slept in different rooms for 9 months prior to that. So for 18 months, emotionally unavailable. Don't want to listen to me? Find out the hard way. Then message me. I love getting messages from everybody saying, hey, your video saved me. Hey, your Instagram or your this or that saved me. You were 100% right. I didn't want to believe you. I didn't want to listen, but damn, you're right. I'm not trying to like poke fun and be like, brown nose, haha, I'm right. It's just, I see the patterns. I've been doing this for 10 years, ladies. If you're talking to a guy and shit switches and flips like that when things are going well, he's love bombing you, or you're doing your reconnaissance and you find out his dating history isn't so good, even if he's had serious relationships before, that doesn't mean anything, ladies. It just takes one girl, one situation to flip it, right? So he can have serious relationships all of his life, but if his wife cheated on him and now it's his last relationship, he's probably emotionally unavailable. So with that being said, ladies, hopefully, how long is this video? 29 minutes. With that being said, ladies, hopefully I have answered a lot of things here. Hopefully I know I was kind of all over the place, but I'm doing this free balling up in the head. Here's the 7 things I think a woman should do to protect her heart while you're dating. Trust me, you do these things, you work on yourself, and you understand why you're doing these things. Nothing's 100%. Again, dating's a game of risk. You have to put yourself out there, but I feel like a high-value woman knows these things, will do these things, and is in control of these things, okay? So, That being said, ladies, get my guides, get a session with me if you want to go over this with your particular situation. We can break all this down in your particular situation or specific situation. Links down below. I love you all. Take care and peace.